Hello. So yesterday I made a YouTube video about my game against Gotham Chess. Well, two games, the Gotham Chess bot, and today I'll be playing the beginner bots, anywhere from 250 all the way to 600, and we'll be explaining the moves move by move so that way you at home can understand the thought process behind an IM. Let's see if I can take these bots down. All right, so I'll be playing against Martin. That's going to be my first game. I'll be playing one game with white, one game with black. Martin learned chess so that he could play with his young kids. He still beats them most of the time. See how you stack up. Okay, let's start. My 4-year-old son just beat me. Ouch. Okay, e4. Good move. Good move. Let's play the Sicilian, just attacking the center. Wow, okay. Already an interesting move. So usually they go for this basic trick of trying to mate in 4. But he's mainly attacking this pawn as well, so I'd probably want to defend it. By playing e6, I'm blocking this mate idea. Okay, so he does it anyway. So developing the queen early in the game is a huge mistake. I can just kick it out, and that's exactly what I'll do. I'll develop my knight hitting the queen. Okay, he keeps his queen in the center. This is a big mistake. He's letting me to continue develop while attacking his queen. Okay, his queen moves, and I could simply develop my bishop, but one of the basic rules of chess is you want to develop with tempo. So in this case, I'm just going to take the center and hit the bishop at the same time. So you can take, oh wow, he doesn't even take, so he leaves his bishop hanging. He's been moving his queen way too much, and he just forgets about his pieces. So we're just going to take this free bishop. It feels good to capture. It does. h4. A weird move. He's not developing any of his pieces, and I could just simply continue developing, but a good move always is to put your knights in the center, and I can do that here by hitting the queen and hitting this pawn, threatening a fork. So we're going to put my knight here, hitting his queen. Let's see what he does. So he leaves his queen hanging, and he allows the fork as well. Well, we're going to take the queen. Okay, wow, he doesn't even take with his knight. He doubles his pawns, and he leaves this pawn all by itself, an isolated pawn. Okay. I don't fully understand what he's doing. So it's kind of like a buffet of options. I could do anything here. I could develop my bishop. I really want to put my queen here just to take advantage of the holes he has. But let's just play solid. Let's take more space in the center, open up this bishop. Okay, knight to the side of the board. That's really strange. Okay, maybe it's time to play this. So now, if I play here, his pawn is now hanging. It's going to be hard for him to defend this pawn. Wow. He just leaves it hanging, and now it's a double attack. Okay, so I could take his rook with check. I think I should do that. He leaves his knight. Okay, I'm going to take that as well. And okay, his king is all alone. I could take the free pawn, but I kind of like bringing a new piece into the game with tempo, because now I'm able to hit the king while developing my bishop. He blocks the check. But I can just simply check him, and then I'll take this pawn next move, and then it'll be mate. Okay, he runs this way, but he's not lasting long. So I'm threatening to come here. Okay, so he goes here. This is a mate in 1. It's game over. So the problem for him from the start of the game was he wasn't developing his pieces. He played queen h5, I go knight f6. He played queen e5. And I was just able to follow the basic rules. Take the center, hit his pieces, take free pieces, improve my pieces, take his pieces, improve my pieces, and then continue that process until he loses. Very good. Let's play another game. Okay, so last game, I was black. This game I'll be white. And let's just follow basic rules. Okay, so we're going to put our pawn in the center. Very nice. It's a very useful move. This is a classic king's pawn opening. Okay, good. Now we're just going to develop my knight, hitting his pawn. Let's see what he does. Okay, so he defends. Okay, he's playing well so far. And I'm just going to put this bishop on this open diagonal, hitting through the center. Wow, okay, this is a common mistake a lot of beginners make. They're blocking their knight, opening their king, and blocking their queen as well. So this, even though it seems like it's defending this pawn, it's causing him a lot of problems. So I could castle. I could develop my knight, but I want to take more space in the center, so I'm just going to push my pawn forward. Okay, so he develops. But by doing this move, he blocks his bishop on f8 here, so developing for me is going to be a piece of cake. Oh, knight's here. Okay, I'm just going to take that, because now his king is going to be very exposed. Wow, he doesn't even take. Okay, so we're going to bring the bishop back just to be up a piece. What? Okay, just more free stuff. I'll take that too. Okay, he's going back to pushing his side pawns. This always happens at the beginner level. When you don't know what to do, you're pushing your side pawns. But the most important thing is that you develop. He should have brought out his bishop or his queen, tried to castle. Okay, we're going to go here to make sure he can't castle in any direction. Okay, I really am struggling to understand the usefulness of his moves. Let's just bring out my queen. There's no need for me to castle. My king is super safe already. And we're now going to be going for mate here. Threatening a mate. Oh, and he just lets it happen. So here white has a mate in 2. I'm going to play bishop check. And his king's going to move, and now this is mate. Great play. Do you want to coach my kids? Not a bad game. For me, it just, again, I just followed the basic rules, and that's how I was able to take him down. Taking the center and simply developing my pieces. And when he doesn't take my pieces, I just bring my pieces back, take what's hanging, improve my pieces, and then I'm making a simple threat here. He could have stopped it with his queen. Had he played his queen here, he would have been able to defend this, but he just allows me to mate in 2, and that's exactly what I did. Okay, let's play the next spot. We're going to play against Wayne. Okay. Let's start off with e4. Again, same as before. Okay, he plays e6, usually the French, but he needs to play d5 for it to be the French. Okay, this is a classic thing where beginners love to bring out their queen, so he's hitting this pawn. And I could defend it with my knight, like this, or like that. We're going to defend it with my bishop, so that way I can go here and then castle. Okay, so now he's hitting my pawn, and I can now simply develop my knight, both defending the pawn and hitting his queen at the same time. Okay, so he hits my pawn. I'm just going to castle. Wow. An incredibly bizarre move. Okay, we'll just continue developing. H6. Okay, let's just hit his queen. I really don't know what he's doing. Wow. But this is my point. A lot of people, when they're starting out, they just make moves that have no value to the game. They're not improving their pieces. He should have been developing his pieces. His queen got stuck, and he totally forgot about his queen. And he can't live. Wow. Okay, let's just take more space in the center and hit this rook at the same time. I have a feeling he's gonna give me the free rook. Now I'm also hitting this knight. I can take this knight as well. Okay, so now this is like the key moment. You're up a lot of pieces. What do you do? Well, I can just sacrifice, sacrifice my knight and go after this king. I kind of want to take more space in the center, but you know, we're going to sacrifice just to bring this bishop in, and this also opens up the avenue for my queen. Now I'm delivering a double attack, and now I just have, I mean, mate is definitely coming here. Check. And now he's going to be running, but I don't even really need to go for mate. He just has no pieces. But okay, I do have a mate in 1 here. Let's talk about this game. So he kind of made the same mistake as the previous bot in that he developed his queen a little bit too early, and the queen just got trapped. I was simply developing my pieces defending the center. I castled, and now I have everything I want. I've developed my 2 minor pieces, my king is safe, and I have the whole center. Whereas black, he has his knight developed. Sure, he's moved his queen twice to no value, and he's pushed his pawn, but he hasn't developed any of his other pieces. Okay, this is an incredibly weak move. It just doesn't do anything. I'm developing, I'm hitting his queen, and I'm just able to take more space, and then I sacrifice. He doesn't even take my knight, and I was able to just take all his pieces until mate. Let's play Wayne again. And so I'm going to be black this time. There we go. Okay, so he plays e4. Let's play e5 this time. Very classic opening. Okay, back to this. Okay, so he's hitting my pawn. I'm just going to defend it. He's probably going to go for this basic mate idea. Oh, he doesn't even try to do it. Okay, so he's not really threatening anything. He wants to maybe take and then take this pawn. But I can just simply develop my knight and hit this queen at the same time. Okay, he goes here. This is like his favorite queen square. Okay, we're just going to attack his queen. I could have taken the pawn, but I just want to get rid of the queen. Okay, so now I'm going to improve my knight. So I'm developing my knight, hitting his bishop, and threatening this fork. Okay, so he defends it. So he's actually playing a little bit better this game. Now I'm developing my bishop here, and it's a little bit sneaky with this bishop and knight, because it seems like my bishop is just staring at this knight, but now I can just simply take this pawn as a discovered attack. And the idea was, had he taken my knight, I would take his queen. But okay, he just leaves his queen hanging. I'm going to take it. He doesn't even take my knight. So I'm just going to keep my knight alive, and my knight can survive on f4, which is exactly where I'm going to bring it. And then I'm just going to castle, because I don't really like my knight here, but I'm up a queen, right? Now the goal is just to simply open the position and go after this king, because it's not so safe. Okay, so he goes here. He's just totally ignoring my plan. I'm opening up the center here. Let's improve my queen. So now I'm threatening this pawn. I might want to come in here and queen g2. A3. Okay, I don't understand this move. Just simply taking more free stuff. And maybe I can even promote this pawn. Okay, we can go check. He can start running, but this is the same as last game where he runs, but he has no pieces. Okay, he blocks with his pawn. It seems like he's able to develop his bishop, but he's giving me the opportunity to check him and then mate in 1. So, I mean, I would say the first mistake came here, and he just allowed me to develop with tempo. This is why you rarely want to develop your queen early in the opening, because your opponent can just simply develop while attacking it every single move. So his queen moves, I attack it again. His queen moves, I attack his bishop. His bishop moves, I develop, threatening his queen now with this discovered attack. And now he just allows it to happen, and then the rest of the game was just incredibly simple. I open up the position, I improve my queen, and I just develop all my pieces, and it's made. Okay, let's play the next spot. We're going to play against Fabian. Wow, already a strange move. Let's just take the center. We're going to play e5. d4. Okay, let's just take this pawn. Okay, he doesn't even take my pawn. I'll take it. So now I'm up a pawn. And now I'm... Wow, he doesn't even take... I'll keep taking. He keeps on giving me all the pawns. He doesn't even take the pawn. So I'm going to queen. What is going on? Okay, so I'm going to take this knight. I mean, every move I made have just been captures. Okay, so now finally I can think for a moment. So I'm up a lot of pieces. I can trade queens, but I like the prospects of developing while hitting his king, forcing his pieces to move back. Okay, so I'll take the bishop. And since I have 2 queens, I don't even know if I really want to trade. I want to keep the queen on the board. So now we're going to go here, and now we're trying to go for mate. So he leaves his queen completely hanging. I have to take it. It's just a free queen. And now there's got to be a mate. And there is, of course. Check. I can go check here. I can go check here. I mean, what is it's only a question of what is the fastest way to win. Probably the fastest way to win is not even giving a check at all. We're threatening a mate here. Okay, he gives me a check. I could sidestep my king, but you know what? Let's just develop my knight, just to get my king a little bit safer. So he takes, I take back, and now it's mate in 1. Unstoppable. The funny thing here is I have more material than I started with. So just simply talking about this game, this is an incredibly strange move. It doesn't really do anything. You don't want to develop your rook in the opening. You want to really keep it back here for later. You want to develop your minor pieces first. And then you want to put your rooks on open files. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to develop your rooks right away. I simply took the center. He gave me a pawn. I took it. He probably should have taken this pawn back, but he gave me this pawn. I took it. I actually thought that he would take with his knight, but he didn't even do that. So he brought out his rook. I took another pawn. He didn't take that, which is incredibly bizarre because now not only is he giving me his rook, he's letting me queen. So he's losing 14 points of material in 1 move. Okay, so last game I was black. Let's play him with white. All right, so let's play d4 this time. We've been playing a lot of e4. Let's play d4 this time. h5, okay, so back to his weird moves. Let's play e4. Knight f6, let's play e5. Simply hitting his knight with tempo, taking more space. So he brings his knight back, and now I can just simply develop my pieces. Okay, he's bringing his knight to the side. I'm not really worried about this move. Let's just develop my knight. Rook here. I'm just going to develop hitting his rook. Brings his rook back. I can play a little bit cheeky and try to go for mate right away, which is probably the best thing to do, but I'm just going to castle. Keep my king safe. See what he does. c6, okay. Let's just play rook e1, bringing my rook into a more open file. So he wants to take my bishop. I'm not even interested in giving that away because all my pieces are way better than his. So he plays g6. I think it's time to go for this. So now I'm really going to go after this weak square because it's going to be really hard for him to defend the mate in 1. So he plays f5, so I can take. Wow, and he just allows mate in 1. So there's something interesting here that I want to show. So here, already, obviously, we're going back to this being a mistake. So h5 obviously is an error. I'm able to just simply take more space in the center. He's allowing me to hit his knight with tempo. Now, usually you could develop your knight here. You could defend the pawn, you know, whatever. But this is a completely fine move for me because I'm hitting his knight, and his knight has no good squares to go because anywhere he moves, I would just be able to attack him. So he just brings his knight back. I simply take more space. He develops his knight on the side. I get to develop. He plays rook h7. I get to develop my bishop while hitting his rook at the same time. Okay, he moves his rook back. I just simply castle. I improved my rook. And now he wants to take my bishop. I don't want to let it slide. Now, probably the computer's okay with giving up the bishop. I didn't want to. So okay, he plays g6. I play knight g5. He plays rook h6. But now simply mate in 1 is a threat. And what was interesting here is I thought he was going to take with the knight. And then there's this very interesting line where I'm going to sacrifice my queen, threatening a mate in 1. And if he takes my queen, I have this beautiful discovered attack as a checkmate. But the position is completely losing here because none of his pieces are in the game. His king is very weak, and none of his pieces can defend his king. And so that's how you should beat the bots. Develop your pieces and take free stuff when you get the chance. Okay, so there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed my games where I played a few beginner bots there, and I hope you guys enjoyed the analysis that I brought with that. Most of the games were incredibly straightforward. Just simply take the center, develop your pieces, and take the free stuff your bots give you. Next time we might look at how to play a little bit against more difficult opponents. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Take care and have a good day. Bye.